Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my Q&A video. So don't ask me what's going on with my hair today. I just decided to curl it and my hair does not hold a curl. So this is the outcome and yeah, we're just gonna deal with it. So I have my phone here with some questions that people have asked me on the Q&A video that I posted. Aren't like a whole lot of them, but I just decided to go ahead and film it. And I might add a little bit more information at the end because I have had questions about other things that I kind of want to address. So let's just get started with the ones that I have right here. The first one is from Keisha. She actually asked me like 8 different questions. So the first one is, if you get to live in any book world, which one would it be? Now most people would probably pick Harry Potter, but I would actually probably go with Lord of the Rings. I actually prefer Lord of the Rings over Harry Potter, so I think it'd be really cool to live in that world. Number 2, if you could visit Mars or any other planet, would you? Absolutely not. No, never. I have a fear of things that I don't know about, like the ocean if I can't see underwater, and I have a fear of, I have claustrophobia, so to be out in space stuck in something that I can't get out of and knowing that I can't get out of it, I would have like a big freak out. I don't think I could handle it. And even being on another planet, it's just too weird. I think I would have a mental break or something. Number 3, she asked me, have one of the shows you liked ever been canceled? How did you feel about this? Actually, yes. Okay, so Eye Candy. I don't know if you guys have been watching Eye Candy. It comes on MTV, or it used to. I really actually liked that show, and I found out that they canceled it, so there's not going to be any more seasons of it, and that really upsets me because I really liked that show. She asked me if I have an iPhone or an Android. Right now I have the Samsung Galaxy S4, which is an Android phone. I don't like Android phones. I tried it out this go around with my upgrade, but when my new upgrade comes around, I'm definitely switching back to the iPhone because I do prefer it to this phone. Then she asks, how did you and your husband meet? It's kind of a weird story. I'll try to be a little bit brief about it, but I was best friends with his sister, and he actually drove me to my graduation with her, and he had a girlfriend at the time, so she was there. And we didn't really pay much attention to each other because I was graduating, I was nervous about that, and then he had a girlfriend, so I didn't even, take into consideration that was an option, and plus his sister was one of my best friends, so it was kind of odd. So I got into a different relationship, and a couple of years later, after that relationship had ended, he contacted me through MySpace. So we're going old school here. And we met up and we had our first date, and the rest is history. We've been married for 8 years in September. She asks, will he be appearing in any of your videos? I don't think so. I don't think he's quite comfortable being in front of the camera, but you never know. I mean, that might change later on. We'll just have to wait and see. I have asked him about it, and it's like he's not really interested in doing it, so I'll keep bugging him and we'll see what happens. She asks me the current song that I can't get out of my head. The song that was stuck in my head yesterday was that song that says, I can't feel my face when I'm with you, because it makes no sense to me, so I was like singing it all through Walmart and stuff, so that one's been stuck in my head for a few days now. Do I have any specific editions of books that you want? Yes, and I will never ever get it because I want a first edition of Alice in Wonderland. If any of you guys have ever looked that up, you would know that that is quite expensive and way out of my price range, and I would not feel comfortable spending that amount of money on a book, even though I really do want it. So those are all of the questions that she asked me. So the next one is from Nicole and Chris 2002. They asked me a couple of questions as well. The first one is, who are some of your favorite booktubers? Whitney from Witty Novels, Richard from Richard Denny, Sam from Novels and Nonsense, and Amy C. Books. Amy C. Books specifically doesn't have a lot of subscribers, and I'm really shocked by that because she has such a bubbly personality. I really enjoy watching her videos, so I will link all of those booktubers down below. Definitely check them out. They're all amazing. Nicole and Chris 2002 asks, how many books do you buy per month? It depends. This past month, my god, you guys, my book haul coming up for this month is gonna be huge, so I would suggest before you watch that video to get like a snack and a drink because I think it's gonna be kind of long. But typically, I would say anywhere between 5 and 10 books. I got a lot of used books this month, so there's a lot more than normal, but usually 5 to 10. I want to say. Do you have a set goal on how many books you want to read this year? I always do the Goodreads challenge, and this year I have it set to 100 books, and I think I'm at like 40 something, which to me is not good, and I'm kind of ashamed of that, but you know, there's life things I have to deal with, so I don't always have time to sit down and read, and sometimes when I do have time, I don't feel like reading. I feel like watching my favorite TV show or something instead of reading. So I don't see myself not reaching that goal, so I'm not too worried about it, but I am like 4 books behind schedule right now. And the last question they ask is, does anyone in your family like to read as much as you do? No, not my family specifically. My mom reads a little bit, my brother and my dad don't read at all that I know of, and my mother-in-law likes to read. She doesn't read as much as I do, but she does enjoy reading, and I usually get her a book for like Christmas or her birthday a lot because she will fly through some books, I'm telling you. But other than her, I can't think of anyone in my family that really reads as much as I do. I'm a little bit obsessive about it. Okay, and next I have a question from Little Library, and she asks, if you could give one piece of advice to someone starting BookTube, what would it be? I would suggest to just go for it and be yourself, and I know like the first video you're going to be nervous and shy and you're probably not going to be outspoken and express yourself, but that you'll get over that. You'll get used to being in front of the camera. Don't worry about your equipment. Don't worry about being high tech. It's not a necessity. You can post any kind of video that you want. It's your channel. Just try to be yourself, and it may take a couple of times that you film before you get comfortable enough to be yourself, but you'll get there and then you'll absolutely love doing it. Tiffany at The Crafty Home asks, if you could combine any 2 animals into one awesome super creature, what would it be, how would it look, and what would you call it? That's a tough one. I don't know. Tiffany, why'd you have to ask me such a difficult question? I don't have an answer. Maybe a mix between Buckbeak from Harry Potter and a dragon, because then he could like breathe fire, maybe? I don't know. That's a really tough question. That's the only one that comes to mind. I can't really think of any other animals that I would want to combine together to create one awesome thing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with that. That actually sounds pretty cool to me. Cody Walton asks, what books would you like to see as a TV show / movie? And for this question, I would have to say the Escape from Furnace series, and this is by Alexander Gordon Smith. This book is like really creepy. It's like a 5-book series. I think I've read all 4. I haven't read the last one. But I really enjoy this series, and I think it's excellent. It's just so different, and it's like the first book is so intriguing and it's so weird. I'll read the back to you. It says, go to hell, an underground hellhole, a place of pure evil with walls soaked in blood, murderous gangs and vicious guards rule the darkness. Horrific creatures steal people away in the dead of night, and the impossible escape is the only hope. This is a really good series. This would be pretty awesome, I think, as a TV show, not necessarily a movie, because there's so much that goes on in these books. And the last question comes from Michelle Thomas. She asks, what was your first chapter book as a kid? Mine was probably, I don't know if it's considered a chapter book, but any book by Beverly Cleary I was obsessed with. I was also obsessed with like Amelia Bedelia and Madeline and books of that sort. I really liked those a lot. And I actually still have, if you've seen like my bookshelf tours, I have the Beverly Cleary box set because she was my all-time favorite author growing up as a kid, and I still really enjoy going back and reading those books. So those are all of the questions that I got on that Q&A video that I posted. However, there have been some requests for me to talk about some of my health issues and let you guys know kind of what's going on. So I will kind of give you like a brief idea of what's been going on with me. I won't go into too much detail because it is a lot, but if you want to know more in depth about what's going on with me, let me know in the comments below and I might make a video just dedicated to that. So I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is PCOS, back in, I want to say December 2008 or 2009. It was like not long after I had been married. So I was dealing with that. And with that came my thyroid condition. I have hypothyroidism. So that's a big issue. Right now it is regulated and my levels are normal with medication. So that's good. I finally found the right dosage to keep that kind of under control. And then about 3 years ago, I noticed that I was having intense pain throughout my body. I had to go to, not the ER, but like, I don't know if you guys know what Pri-Med is, but that's where I went. It was kind of like a doctor's office, but eh. Anyways, I went because I was having chest pains. And so they did an EKG because I was having a hard time breathing, and the EKG came back fine, so they did some x-rays to make sure everything was okay, and I was diagnosed with costochondritis, which is like inflammation in your chest area or something to that effect. It's kind of hard to explain, but it hurts like a bitch, and it makes it really difficult to breathe. So at first I thought either I was having a heart attack, which was doubtful, or I was developing adult asthma, which would be really weird as well. So costochondritis kind of fits better. They don't really have a cause for it. They just know that stress makes it worse, and like lifting heavy things will make it flare up. So I do still have flare-ups every now and again, and I usually have to put like a heating pad on my chest and relax for a day or two. So after that, we moved, and we now live way up north, which is great, and I like it here. And then once we moved here, I noticed that my pain was getting a lot worse in like my legs and my hips and my arms and just everything. I didn't want to be touched. So I went to the doctor, and I had multiple tests done for lupus and RA, and those came back negative, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I've been dealing with that for a long time, way before I got diagnosed. I actually, when I think back on it, I think of incidents that happened to me when I was like in high school that kind of seemed like they could have been fibromyalgia related, but you know, I'm not sure. Recently I had my eye exam done, like my normal yearly vision checkup, and they noticed that something strange was going on with my eyes. I did tell them that my eyesight has been a little wonky. It's been kind of blurry sometimes, and my vision has gotten a little bit worse. So they sent me to a specialist because they were kind of thinking that I was developing glaucoma. Now you guys know I'm only 28, so that's really odd. So I went to the specialist, and they took pressures in my eyes and did all these tests and all this crap, and it was a mess, and I had my eyes numbed like 2 times, and I had my eyes dilated, and it was awful. So they did that, and they determined that I'm gonna have to come back like in about 6 months and get it checked again, because my pressure levels in my eyes are so inconsistent that they can't determine whether or not I actually have glaucoma. So in the meantime, I'm supposed to kind of keep an eye out for, no pun intended, I'm supposed to keep an eye out for any vision changes or headaches or things like that, which I get headaches all the time anyways, so they're not sure, but they did say that one of my eyes, something about the way my cornea is, or I don't know, it's all technical terms, that something was off. So I'll go back in 6 months, and if my pressures are the same, which is normal, you know, like in a normal range, then they'll just monitor me every year, because even if I'm not diagnosed with glaucoma, they know that I am prone to developing it at an early age at this point. So I will have to get tests ran every year. If my pressures are elevated, then they will most likely diagnose me with glaucoma, and then I will be on eye drops forever, unless I decide to get surgery or something. I said I was gonna be brief, but I'm not. So those are some of the problems that I have with my health. Obviously it's not everything, but those are the main things. So now you guys kind of have an idea of what's going on with me. And so sometimes in my videos I might seem kind of lethargic and like I don't feel good that day, and that's why. But I still love to film videos, so I make sure to push myself through that, which I do for a lot of things anyways. So I hope you guys learned something from this. If you want me to do a full video on any of these conditions or anything like that, trust me, I have a lot of information because I've done a lot of research over the years. So just let me know in the comments below, and I would be happy to do that. Also, if you have any other questions, just let me know down below as well, and maybe I will do another Q&A video in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!